Hi everyone, my name is Mara and this is Happy Spatula. Today I'm going to be cooking my mom Carmela's meatballs. I remember as a kid growing up and I would help her make them. The house just smelled amazing. I think after years of practice I finally have it down, so let's start cooking. Okay, well here's all the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need eggs, beef and pork, breadcrumbs, Parmesan cheese, a carrot, garlic, onion, bay leaves, parsley, basil, tomato paste, whole peeled tomatoes, and a can of water. Okay, you're gonna use about a half an onion, okay? Or if you have, this is like a medium-sized onion, so I'm only gonna use a half. But usually, I mean, you can use, if you have a small one's fine too. So I'm just gonna cut it, just mince it up a little bit. Not mince it, but you know, chunks. Okay, so that's about how much you want there. Once the oil is heated, add your onions, a pinch of salt, and now some cracked pepper. Cook the onions until they're translucent. Tomato paste. Add your tomatoes. Now you can add your water. And give it a mix. Add your basil, parsley, and bay leaves. And 1 carrot. It's a natural sweetener and will help with the acidity in the tomatoes. And give it a mix. Add more salt. And pepper. I like a lot of pepper, but you can add as much as you like. Okay, so there's the sauce, and that'll simmer while we put the meatballs together because you want to let the sauce cook a little bit. Now I want you to take a note that as you noticed in the sauce, I did not add any garlic. And most sauces will have like onion and garlic. However, one of the secrets that my mom taught me is when you have the dry garlic in the meat, it actually flavors the sauce once you put them in there. So that's how we're gonna get the garlic flavor into the sauce. So let's just make the meatballs now. So we have, like I said, a pound each of pork and hamburger. So I'm gonna add the breadcrumbs. I'm gonna add the Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna add some pepper flakes. My mom didn't add pepper flakes, but this is like my own little touch, my own self, because I like it, you know, just a little kick, not much, just a little bit. Then we're gonna add the garlic powder. And then I have a bunch of basil. I'm going to pour some of that basil in there. And I also have parsley, okay? And my mom always used dry ingredients for some reason. Like a lot of times, you know, but you can do whatever you like. You can put fresh or whatever, but I put these little freeze-dried herbs in mine, and it's amazing. So I will put a little pinch of salt as well, and some cracked pepper, some fresh ground pepper. Then we're going to add some eggs. We're going to add 2 eggs. That's 1, 2. Okay. Now, once you get all your ingredients in there, you just go ahead and start giving it a mix. I'm just going to use my hands. I've washed them already, so they're nice and clean. So you want to just kind of mix it all together. Another good thing to do if you're going to make these meatballs is you want to have the meat is best when it's at like room temperature. Okay, so we're gonna keep mixing this meat with my hands. but we don't want to handle the meat too much because you don't want it to be tough. So so I'm gonna keep mixing this together till I feel like it's good. Let's mix it, squish it between your hands. Okay, so one of the secrets that my mom used, and for some reason, I don't know if it works or not, but it seems to, that made her meatballs very tender, is she would add warm water to the meat. And so you just add a little bit at a time and just kind of push it through. And it kind of like, I want to say it, you feel the difference. It like kind of tenderizes it, I guess. So I'm going to just add that first little amount. So I'm going to say that was about a quarter cup I added in there. So I'm going to add just a little bit more, about another quarter cup as well. Maybe there's about a half cup in here total of warm water. Again, you don't want to mix it up too hard, you know, because you want it to stay tender. Okay, here we go. And I think that's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to give my hand a quick wash. I'm going to come right back and I'm going to show you how I scoop it out on my baking dish. So you want to preheat the oven to 350. Okay, so now I've got all the meat already mixed. Now we're going to make the meatballs. I use a little ice cream scooper to make them so they're all the same size. So you basically just fill it up so it's flat and even, and I just put it in my hand and do it just quickly, not even a ton. You wouldn't want to handle them too much. So again, I'll show you another one. You just want to fill it up, scoop on your hand, and do it just gently, just so they're together. There's your second one. And we're going to do it again. Very gently roll it in your hand, so not to handle it too much, so it's tough, because you want your meatballs to be tender. You don't want them to be tough. Now you can just put them in the oven. After 25 minutes, the meatballs are done and ready for the sauce. Before I place the meatballs into the sauce to cook, I'm going to take a potato masher and I'm going to just mash the tomatoes. Although they're really tender and they've been cooked down, you still want to just give it a little mash to make sure there's not big chunks of the tomatoes in there. So I'm going to just start placing the meatballs in the sauce. Okay, so here's the last meatball, and now what you want to do is the minimum 2 hours let those meatballs cook in that sauce. It's ideally best to have it really around 8 hours or so, but if you're really hungry, I think minimum 2 hours would be okay. Okay, so the meatballs are ready, so it's time to enjoy. There we go. Little cheese. Well, this is Happy Spatula. I hope you enjoyed this show, and come back next time and we'll cook something else together. Let me give it a bite. Really good.